Today's lesson will teach you 15 advanced English verbs, and these are not the overused, boring, simple English verbs that you would learn in a textbook. These verbs are very powerful and they will help you either replace a boring old verb or just upgrade your English so you can sound more intelligent while you're speaking. Use these strong verbs in your daily conversations or in presentations or in writing, and I promise you people will notice how smart you sound while you're speaking English. Let's get started with these 15 verbs. Go to englishwithkayla.com or use the link below to learn more about this list and join my exclusive membership. Now, let's get started. The first verb on today's list is so incredibly useful. So you might feel like you're saying, oh yeah, I understand, or I get it. If you want to show, you're understanding something, that can get overused. And when you want to really show you deeply understand something, you can say, I am grasping it. I grasp this concept. When we say that we grasp something, it means we fully understand it.
The power of nothingness is a difficult skill to grasp, and even harder to master.
So let's say you're in a presentation or you're in a work meeting and you want to make sure that you show that you understand something, or you want to, question about you and want to say, I want to make sure I fully grasp this new software, or I fully grasp this new system, whatever it might be. It just means that you want to completely understand it. So you can say fully grasp, or even just, I want to make sure I can grasp this new software. And this just shows that you want to understand it completely. So sometimes I think that English learners think that they just have to sound more formal in order to sound smarter. And most of the time, sounding more formal isn't the preferred way to speak, especially in the United States where we speak more casually. But in this instant, I'm going to show you a verb that is a bit more formal, and it can help you out in professional situations just to sound more precise and more powerful. Instead of saying you're going to do something, we're going to do this plan, we're going to do this, we're going to do this tomorrow, we are going to use the verb execute. Execute is very precise, especially when it's talking about doing something that's planned or some sort of task or action, and you're going to do it all the way through from beginning to end. You're going to execute a plan.
Take me seriously, I got a magazine to execute here.
So if you want to sound professional, try out using execute instead of saying we're going to do this or we're going to complete this. Or you can even use this in a sports situation to say, oh, they really executed the strategy. It just means that they did something very precisely, they did it well, and they did it from the beginning to the end. And you could say we didn't execute very well. This means you executed poorly or in a bad way. So you can use this as a positive or negative, and it's very powerful in both ways. So when we want to talk about doing something consistently, like keeping something consistent or continuing to do something after a long time, we can use the verb to maintain, So we're using maintain to talk about habits, to talk about lifestyle.
We can't be affiliated with convicts if we expect to maintain our hierarchy at the school.
Or we can talk about, keeping our efforts up or certain conditions you can maintain. One perfect example that comes to my head is you want to maintain your house. So we talk about doing maintenance on our house. This would be things like fixing things that are broken, fixing things before they get broken. For instance, our water softener, we have very hard mineral water where I live. It was broken and it started to leak. It was still kind of working, but in order to maintain it, we got it replaced right away so that we didn't have a bigger problem. So we really want to maintain our house so that we don't have things that are broken or they're looking damaged or they're looking old. For me, I have a lot of habits that I'm trying to maintain. For instance, I'm always trying to maintain a healthy diet. This means eating healthy every single day, most of the time. Or I'm trying to maintain a habit of reading before bed. It's tempting to scroll on my phone or watch a movie, but I'm trying to maintain the habit of reading every night. So I keep a book next to my bed. So instead of just saying, I'm trying to keep the habit or I'm trying to keep up my house, a more formal and a more powerful way is just to maintain it. Can you maintain the same effort for a long time? This means, can you keep doing the same quality of effort? Can you keep working hard even when you're tired? Yes, I can maintain that effort. Here is a more powerful verb you can use instead of saying, I'm going to make someone do something, or I'm going to convince them to do something. You can say, I'm going to persuade them to do something. The power of persuading someone is, it's very powerful. You need to be able to give a lot of good reasons. You need to use logic. You need to just be charming. It's hard to persuade someone to change their mind or to come to your idea.
He's trying to persuade Ford to partner with him.
Maybe you have a friend that doesn't like their job. They complain about their job every single day. You might try to persuade them to apply for a new job. You might say, your job stinks. I'm sick of hearing you complain. You deserve a better job. You deserve a nicer boss. This is how you're going to persuade your friend. I'm trying to persuade you. This is what you would say to your friend. So you're trying to change their opinion. You're trying to make them do something by using logic and reason. So if you wanted to say that your boss let you go home early from work on a Friday, he let everyone on the team, or she let everyone on the team go home early. And it was because, you gave them some good reasons. You were talking about how everyone worked so hard. Instead of saying, oh yeah, I made our boss let us go home early. You could say, I persuaded our boss to let us go home early. And this would mean that you had some powerful words if you persuaded them. So this is where we use this verb to persuade someone. So if you're trying to build some interest in what you're saying to someone, instead of just saying, I'm going to show you something, or I'm going to tell you something, you might say, I will reveal to you something. When you reveal something, it means you are showing some hidden information or a secret information, whatever it might be. You might reveal that you're getting married soon. And that might be surprising to everyone. So it means there was something that was a secret or it wasn't said out loud before, and now you're showing them this thing. So instead of just saying, I'm going to show you it, you might be able to build more interest in what you're saying by saying, I'm going to reveal to you by the end of my presentation, my new plan for you. So this verb, it's powerful because it implies that, someone's going to learn something maybe exciting or just kind of a secret, and it makes them more excited to hear your information. So I like this verb to reveal.
For the moment we've all been waiting for, the reveal of this year's prom theme.
So you may have heard in the news of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and this whole Elon Musk thing and whatever. The reason I'm talking about this is not because I want to talk about politics or anything going on politically in the United States. It's because it goes along with this next powerful verb. So you could say, oh, Elon Musk is trying to remove wasteful spending, or they're trying to get rid of wasteful spending. You could say that. You could also use this powerful verb. They are trying to eliminate wasteful spending. So the verb to eliminate means to get rid of or to remove. And it's more powerful. It gets your point across a little bit more if you're trying to say something like this.
When diplomatic and military tactics failed, our government hired the shadow agency to eliminate national security threats.
I like to go work at the library because I like to eliminate distractions. When I'm in my house, I want to clean, I want to make some food, I want to, I have some laundry I gotta switch out. These are distractions. I try to eliminate them by going to the library. So this means I'm really passionate about getting rid of these distractions, going somewhere quiet to work. So a great phrasal verb that we use in English is to put off something. That means to delay it until later. A really good formal verb that you must know, especially professionally, because things always get delayed, they always get moved around, is to postpone. Postpone means to move to a later date or a later time. A lot of times we talk about events that are supposed to be outside being postponed until later, especially if there's bad weather. It was postponed due to bad weather.
Oh, I'd love to postpone, darling, but I just cashed my last rain check.
So this verb, it just comes off as a bit more formal and professional than just saying put off or delayed. A really powerful verb that you can use either in a professional context or just in a very personal context is instead of saying you want to think about something, you could say I want to reflect on something. If you're reflecting, it means more deep and thoughtful about your thinking about an idea. So for instance, you might be thinking a bit more about your emotions, or you might be thinking more about the consequences of an action or a plan or whatever it might be. So it can be, very deepful thought. I'm going to reflect on things in my life, my emotions. Or if you're in a professional conversation, you can say, I want to reflect on this meeting and I'll come back with some more ideas. This just means you want to think about it. You want to take some time to be very intentional and think about it. So that's why it's a bit more powerful than just saying think. To reflect.
Some days I just come out here to reflect.
A very strong academic or business word that you can use instead of just saying, I'm going to show you this, is to demonstrate something. If you demonstrate something, you're either going to be very thorough in showing someone how to do something, or you're going to be very thorough in showing someone why something works or why something is the way it is. Especially if we're talking about a study or some sort of scientific research, we can demonstrate to the person, what idea was proven. For instance, you could say, this study is going to demonstrate how beneficial exercise is, instead of just saying, this will show you how good exercise is. It just comes off as a bit more formal, academic, and it's just showing you're going to be very thorough and very, explanatory in your speaking.
Would you like me to demonstrate your capacity to be wrong when you're certain you're right?
And demonstrate is also very useful if you are asking someone to actually show you how something works or, give you more information about it. Especially if you're in a meeting and someone says, hey, we're going to use this new software. It's going to be way better. It's going to be way more efficient. You might say, could you demonstrate exactly how this is going to be more efficient or exactly how this is going to work? This just means, can you give me a more thorough walkthrough or presentation about it? Another way that we can say we're going to improve something is we are going to enhance it. If we're talking about making something better quality, better looking, or just working better, we can say we're going to enhance it, especially if we're talking about a small detail. So you could say, oh, the new iPhone has an enhanced camera lens. So this is just a small detail about the phone that has been improved.
Can you enhance it?
Mm-hmm. If you want to talk about your English skills getting better, you could say this video really enhanced my ability to use advanced verbs or something like that. You're talking about something small that was noticeably improved. Either it looks better, it sounds better, or, you're just using it better. When someone is trying to be motivational, maybe you're listening to a TED Talk or a motivational speaker, and they're trying to talk about all these problems that they were able to deal with and they got through. One powerful verb you might hear them use is they'll say, I overcame these problems. So to overcome something means to get through a challenge, to deal with a challenge or problem and become successful at the end.
If Boo can overcome his fear of a real werewolf, he's sure to be brave enough to go on that special camping trip with me.
If someone has a disability and, they work through this disability and they're able to have a good quality of life, or they're able to get a good job despite having something that would normally hold them back, we could say they overcame their disability. Or if you have a fear of public speaking and you're able to go up on stage and give a speech in front of 100 people, you could say, I had to overcome my fear of public speaking. So it can be a problem, it can be, a fear, something like that you got over. You did something despite the problem. You overcame the problem or the challenge. This next verb, it's very powerful. If you want to say that you are going to focus on a problem or situation that needs attention, you can say you are going to address it. I will address this problem with my boss later. Or can we address this later? This means, can we focus on this problem later? A lot of times this phrase is pretty common if someone brings up a problem or something that's wrong and you can't really help them right now, or maybe there's other people and you don't want to waste their time, you'll say, we can address this later after the meeting or after the presentation, whatever it might be. And a lot of times in the United States and politics, when we talk about our president or people in power, speaking about a problem, we say they're going to address Congress about this problem. It means they're going to focus on the problem and speak to them, or we can say they're going to give an address. This means they're going to talk about all these things, all these points of business, or all these problems.
Now, the point we have to address tonight is getting everyone to agree.
A good way that you could use this verb address is just saying could you address this problem? If you're asking someone to, bring attention to a problem or try to solve it, speak to it, you can say, could you address this problem or could you address this challenge? I've noticed that people in corporate America, that's people who work in business, love to say collaborate rather than just work together or get together. So collaborate, this is a powerful verb that means work together on a problem or work together on a plan, whatever it might be. A lot of times we say, if people on YouTube who have 2 different YouTube channels or TikTok or any social media, make a video together, they're collabing, they're having a collaboration. So collabing is an informal verb that means to collaborate or to work together.
Did you or did you not, in fact, collaborate with the management?
One thing, if you're a leader in any way, maybe in your family, maybe in your business, in your friendships, if you're a leader, one thing that's very important is to say, when something is your fault or to admit when it's your fault. Even to your own kids, say, I did this, I messed up, but I'm making it better, I'm apologizing, whatever it might be. I think this is a very powerful thing as a leader. And a really powerful verb that you can use in English is you're going to acknowledge.
All right, Mrs. Zerga, I acknowledge that your briefcase does not contain any dangerous or illicit material, and I further agree to take custody of said briefcase and store it in my secured vault for a period of...
So if you acknowledge a mistake, it means you say, this was me, you recognize it was you, or you admit to it. I acknowledge my mistake. I'm so sorry. Or another thing that we can do is we can acknowledge someone else. This means, we're showing that they did a good job and we want to point that good job or that good thing that they did out to everybody else. I want to acknowledge, Jimmy's hard work this year, whatever it might be. If you're acknowledging someone, it's very powerful. You're saying what they did and you're showing everyone else what they did that was good, even if they didn't want acknowledgement or recognition for it. It's very important. Thank you for learning these 15 powerful verbs with me. I promise you that you can go use these in your conversations and it will help just level up your English. It will help you sound more intelligent, especially in these more formal situations. And if you are still wanting to work on these verbs, you really want a system to actually learn them and put them in your vocabulary, make sure to visit EnglishWithKayla.com and check out my English Vocabulary Help membership. This is just a more formal system. It's the natural step if you're actually wanting to study this English. If you just like watching these free videos, that's totally fine too. Keep watching. I'll post more lessons on screen. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.